Okay, so this is getting started with Revit. If you go to Google Classroom, I've created for my students something called Ground Zero. So if you click on the file that we have, it'll ask you to download it. So I've done this already, but once you hit download and wait a few seconds, it's going to ask you where to put it. I'm putting it on the desktop, and then you hit save. I'm going to hit cancel because I've already done that. So at that point, you can get out of that window, and you can go to Revit. So this is the shortcut that we're looking for. It's got an R and then a VT. So you double click on that. So once it opens up, and it could take a while to open up, you will get this window. So from here, you've got an option to open your models. Now these are the things that I've had previously open. You will not have those at the beginning. I think you start off with this architectural one. So you hit new and you're going to browse. So in this case, it opens up English, but it wouldn't necessarily do that. It's got all the different language. This is a multinational company that puts this out, Autodesk. And so we're looking for English, but we're going to, because Canada is so closely tied to the US, we're going to use Imperial. And then we would use Residential Default. But because you might have trouble finding that in your Windows tree, we're going to actually keep going up until we see Desktop. And then I loaded it on my desktop. So once you have that, the RTE ending stands for template. Okay, so then it's going to ask you to do it as a project or a template. We want to do it as a project, which allows us to save. And you've got this when you open up. Now, yours will look a little bit different than mine. I've got this thing called the project browser. If you were to hover it over here and it turns blue, this would totally overlap everything. So we probably don't want to do that. Let's grab the properties. So this properties is just very specific things that you're going to need when you're working on something like the floor or whatever. So everything is by these grabbing the top. So if you grab here, this would add them together so that you have tabs. I don't necessarily like that. So you can separate them by grabbing the top. Grabbing the top. I guess grabbing the tab. What I want to show you is that, okay, so when you see this on the bottom, that's going to be the way that you're going to see yours, typically. And it's going to actually be parked over here. So what did I do? We want this down on this lower half. And we want this. Now, this is very dangerous. Okay, so you want to let go when you see the blue. So that's how you're going to have it. You can keep it there. The safest thing is for you to keep it there. It doesn't really matter. But I've seen somebody move it over to this side. And this is where I've caused myself some danger. So you'll notice that it turned blue before I let go. So don't ever let it go before it turns blue. And hopefully that you'll be fine. So now this is my setup. And you can move them over a little bit. You don't need to have them that big. The first thing I want to do is I want to click on, in the project browser, I want to click on north. And so it gives me all these different elevations. And so if I click over here, I should be able to move them over. And that allows me to move in, and I can sort of see the spacing. You can add and you can subtract. So if I drag up with my left mouse, I can select all these and I can delete them. It'll ask, do I really want to delete them? And I'm going to say yes. I can change the height of them. So let's say I only want this to be 12 feet. The default is in feet, so it'll go down. Maybe I want this one to be called something different. So it could be top of wall. And then I can hit enter. It'll ask me, do I want to rename it? And I do. So that over here now we've got top of wall in 2 places. If I want to bring this down to 8 feet, I can just overtype 8 feet. If I want to call this ground, let's say that I just want to call this ground so I don't mistake it, I can call it ground, and then it'll ask me to rename it. So that's the first thing that you want to do, is you want to find north. You can also click on west for that matter, and it's still going to be the same. These things aren't shifted over. So that one went by itself. So in Revit, it likes to line things up. I don't know how to get these back, but if you click on the dot, maybe that'll help. Okay, and then sometimes if you click on the top one, it allows you to move. Anyways, I'm messing that up. Okay, so what I want to is I want to go to ground. And I want to draw a wall. So how would I draw a wall? You can go to wall. Now it's under the architecture tab. The first thing it does is give you some shapes. You can choose what type of wall you want. So I want one that shows that I have siding on the outside. So wood siding on one side, and then I want studs on the other side. It gives me a default height of 20 feet, which is quite high. I actually want to change that to the top of wall. So now it's only 8 feet high. Okay, so I've selected the type of wall, so siding on the outside and the height, and it's also going from the ground. So now I can take this line tool and, one more thing is I want to change this, instead of center line, I want to have it finish to the exterior. So when I drag my line, let's say that I want to have it 16 feet, and then I want to go down 8 feet, 16, and then I want to come up. That it finishes the wall for me. So when I go to the 3D view of it, it's going to show me that shape. And if I want to change the resolution, I can change it to medium. I can change it so that it's more shaded. And that way I can sort of see what's going on. From there, I wanted to go back to ground, and I want to copy it a few times. So I can go to copy. I can drag over it. Now I've selected my walls. I hit enter on the keyboard. Now it asks me where I want to move it, because we're copying them. So it tells me how far I've moved them, and I could just make them as big as I want. I'm going to hit escape. I'm trying to get you to, let's see if I can show you what the end goal is. So this is a video that's made by Vulcan Architecture, and it's got a whole bunch of shed views. So I'm going to try to show you how to start off making these, and then you can continue on with his video. Because he knows how to do this a lot better than I do. When I hit 3D view, I can also go to the tab 3D view, so I can tab between these. I can start drawing. So I can also open up top view. So now I've got something called top of walls. I've got ground, and they're about the same. And I've got 3D views and then north. And if you want to close one, like I'm not going to use west, so I'm going to close that. So let's say that we're going to put just a basic roof on here. So we're going to click on the roof drop down. It's going to be roof by footprint, not extrude. And it's asked me to make sure that I'm on the right plane, so I can hit set plane, and I want to choose top of wall and then click OK. So now I'm in my roof tool, I believe. No, clicked out of my roof tool. So it says define slope overhang, basic roof, and the level is top floor. So if I click over here, you can sort of see there's a dotted line, and that'll be my overhang. So probably the easiest one to do is that one. And then when you click OK, you've got your roof. It's 9/12, so you could grab it and you could make it really steep, or you could bring it down, make it flat. You can select it and then make your changes over here, I believe. Slope. So I confused it. So let's say we'll go back to 12. So it naturally makes it over 12. Okay, and then sometimes you got to click afterwards and hit enter. And let's see if that fixes everything up. So it does fix it up. It kind of did a weird thing around the edges. But let's do it again over here, show you again. So we're going to click on roof. We're going to define slope. We're going to have a 1 foot overhang. We want 2 plumb cut. We could change that to a single plumb. Top of wall is the base, and where is our slope? Doesn't have slope. So let's start selecting our walls again. And we'll hit finish. And so that's what happened before we messed it up. Okay, and then one more thing that you can do is you can hover over the wall, and then when you're hovering, you're going to hit tab. It selects all the walls, and then you click with your left mouse and it selects them all, and then you can go to attach, and then you can hover over the top and it'll actually attach the walls to the building. You could do that again, so hover over one of the sides, hit tab on the keyboard, which selects them all, tab on the keyboard, and then click down, and then you can attach them. Okay, so that's kind of 2 different walls. The next one is going to be only slightly different. So I'm going to go to architecture, I'm going to choose roof, I'm going to select this wall. Now that one's got a slope of 9/12, and then I want to unselect. So on this top over here, we're going to unselect that to choose the other walls. And then when I hit finish, we're going to have essentially a shed roof, which is basically one roof. You can grab this and bring it up and down to change the slope. So this one's closer to 6, which would be, I don't know, 6/12. And you could bring it upwards, and then when you select the, so when you hover over and you select the wall, you hit tab, click them all, and then you attach. And then it says, what do you want to attach it to? We want to attach it to the roof. So the cool thing is, once you have your shed like this, you can go into your doors and you can say, hey, I want to put a door in. And so a standard door might be 32/80, and I can just put it on the face. Here I can click, and then if I want to, I can hit escape to get out of the door tool, hold down shift on the keyboard and the center mouse button, and that way you can click on the door, and then let's see if we can get some measurements. So it's 6'6" on one side and it's 8 feet on the other side, so we can just use our mouse keys, and we can't see that very well. Let's see if we can tilt it so we can see it. There we go. So we can keep moving until they're roughly the same. I didn't really plan this out very well, so I don't know if I'll be able to hit this middle. So now we're 3/4 of an inch off. So I can hit escape, I can accept it, I can click on windows, I can select what type of window. So maybe I want to have a double window on each side. I could have it lined up with the top of the door, and close enough. And then when I hit escape, I can hit escape a couple times, and now I can sort of figure out what would be the middle of it. And you can also type numbers in. Maybe that's closer to lined up to the top of the door. So I'm not teaching you how to do this perfectly, or just trying to get you started. Okay, hit escape, and so now we've got a shed that looks pretty good in a very short period of time. Okay, so what do we got? Let's do a gable roof. So we're going to click here. We're going to do it the other way. So let's say that it doesn't work. We're going to go to the top of the floor, and we're over here, I guess. So I want to click on that one, and then this one, and then I want to unselect. Ooh, that is defining slope. So let's do it the wrong way, and then we'll fix it up. So that one and that one. So now if I select these ones, so I hit escape, select this wall and this wall. No. Okay, I'm going to go to modify, drag, there we go. Okay, so now I can say that that one is going to be defining slopes. Okay, so what I did is I went over to modify, I dragged over both the ones that I want. I've went to make sure that it defines slope. It asked me the slope, it's 9/12. When I click check mark, it should give me what I wanted. Click on 3D, and I actually have a gable roof. Okay, so now to attach the walls, we're hovering tab, and then click, and then you can go to attach to the roof. Okay, and then you can add in your windows and doors. Okay, so that's the first project that we're going to have you do, is make 4 sheds in that similar manner. And good luck, have fun.